Hello and welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Sparx Database Builder. And we're going to work with an existing table that we created for several episodes ago around our code test data. So we just have a few tables that we're going to be working with, and we're going to be showing how you can use Database Builder to support round-trip engineering and collaboration with other data engineers in your project or your company. So we have a brand new Sparx project. There is absolutely nothing in here. And we have a root folder called model, and we're going to leave it that name. And we're going to create a package in here that's simply called database. I'm just going to call it our database. It should be our co. Yeah, why not, huh? Why not go with the theme? Our code database. There we go. We're going to use a data model again. Again, you could start off your cover page with anything, but I want to use extended and data model, right? So we've got a blank data model in here. Let's go ahead and launch it. And there we go. Our code database is in our view. Now, with any new project, I'd like to bring in our reference data. So I'm going to go out to our reusable asset service. We're going to log on to that, and we're going to go to the storage area called reference data, and we're going to import the latest UMLO reference data. So just go ahead and hit import, and we want everything. It's already selected for us. We're going to hit OK, and all of this is going to come in. And now our new project is going to be set up with the report templates, the patterns, the scripts, the tag values, and everything we like to use. Now, the next thing we're going to do is go to develop. We're going to go to database builder. We get this area built out in our work area. Click for new database. We're going to go ahead and click that. And we're going to use the model wizard to build an empty starter data model. So I'm just going to select that. There we go. You can drill down, pick your technology. It is SQL Server. It's 2012. We're on 2019. That's fine. They all work. Right. Then we're going to hit OK. And it's going to build this within the package that we have here. Right. And there we go. And now that is all built out for us. It's called Database A. We're going to rename that in a moment. You have views, stored procedures, functions, sequence, queries, and then connectors, right? Now, it sets up your three-stage development environment or software environment. You've got dev, you've got stage or test, and you have production or prod here. We're going to use the dev for this implementation. So on dev, we're going to double click this and it brings up this dialog box. We're going to use direct native connection. We're going to hit OK. Everything is already set, except this is the table that we're going after. Our database is called OurCo. All the credentials should work. We test first. Yes, everything's good. We hit OK. And now our development connection is set for us. Every time I do an update in Database Builder, I simply right-click in here and refresh all. And it refreshes everything, and we should be ready to go. You can double-click it again. Yes, your connection string's in there. We should be all good to go. Now, the Sparx Wizard built out all of these namespaces, these folders for us. Here is the Database A reference. I'm just going to go down to tables. I'm going to open this model up and it is blank. It is the data modeling diagram type, which is great. And what we're going to do in this is we're going to import, because we've already built our tables. And what we're doing is we're bringing them into our project environment and we're going to work together on those. So what I do in this folder, this namespace, is I go up to import and then I go to browse, again, direct native. It remembers our last input, test. Yes, thank you. Hit OK. At DBO, we're going to bring in all of the tables that are under the database owner's namespace. And we're on the right package that we want to go to. Again, you can select this, target any package you want, but we're going into tables and we're ready to go. We're going to hit import, and it's going to bring up everything from this database that we want to bring in. And we simply just want to bring in these 3 tables. We want to bring in this view that's already built. Let's go ahead and bring in these stored procedures. And let's go ahead and bring in this function for demonstration purposes. You could just select everything and it just brings everything in, but I don't need the sys diagrams. And there's some things that I don't need that are in here. And we're going to hit OK. It's going out right now to the database, bringing that in. Done that fast. We're going to hit close. And here we go. So we have, if I go to pan and zoom, because this is a rather large diagram, becoming quite the eye chart. Go to layout. We're going to left justify and space down evenly. And I'm going to do same height and width as that. Make it nice and pretty, and then zoom back in. So, you know, I'm going to move this view over here. I'm going to move this right here, and we're ready to go. All right. So we've got our connections between our tables. Everything looks fine. Let's go ahead and hit Control S to save, and we're ready to go. We're going to go back over to Database Builder, right-click in here, and refresh all, and there we go. We have our tables that have been brought in here. Any of our constraints, those are all referenced here. And then in this work area, you can see we have the fields. We can manage the fields that are in here. We can manage the constraints. And we have a SQL Scratchpad that we can write SQL in. So we can write SQL statements that are in here. We can run them. We want to go against the dev environment. We're going to hit OK, and there's the result set from the table. So there's our tables that are brought in for us, brought in our views. You can run your views from here. There we go. And go ahead and run this. There we go. It would just return 1, which was the order ID number only in that table. You can run and create your stored procedures, your functions, any of those that you are building out relevant to the table. You can also build out and add, run SQL queries. You can add new SQL queries, and you can manage your connections. I want to rename this connection here over in properties. I'm going to leave dev in there, but this is our dev. I'd leave the dev like that, DB, just something like that. Then hit OK, right? Then come over here, hit refresh all, look at connections, and there we go. That's already set, right? So, and I can set as active right there. There we go. That means it's an active database. I also want to rename this instance from database A. I just go over in browser. I'm going to hit F2 to rename it here. And I'm going to call this OurCo test database. Something like that, database. There we go. Come back over here, right click, refresh all. And now the name has been changed up there. There is so much more that we could do here. It'd be all day. Sparx Enterprise Architect literally develops this entire tooling only using Sparx, from the SQLite database to any database that's underneath Sparx to all of the Sparx code. They do it in Sparx. They don't use any other IDE development environment. I don't. My hat's off to them. I use Visual Studio myself. I'm no longer using Eclipse. But having these tools and features is extremely productive, especially in project delivery and collaboration. Typically, we develop our databases using other tooling, usually Visual Studio or SQL Studio, but you can do it. This database that's here was created all in Sparx. Did that in a previous episode. We're just bringing it in from a reverse engineering perspective, and I can literally make changes in the tables here, and then I can generate data definition language, DDLs, to actually update and sync with the live database in real time. Maybe I'll demo that as we're doing other real projects, but this is Sparx Database Builder, extremely powerful. And I hope this session was helpful for you. Thanks very much for watching. And until the next episode, happy modeling.